All right. Well, I want to welcome everybody here and everybody online to What's for Lunch. And today we are very happy to have Dr. De La Garza here to discuss. Do you just call it LAMP or LSAMP? How do you refer to it?
Yes, the program is called LSAMP.
Oh, LSAMP. Okay. The power of mentoring and community to develop scholars. This is a program that's been here for quite some time. It's a wonderful program. And so I'm just thrilled that you are able to be here and talk to us. So at this point, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you, and thank you so much for the invitation and for allowing me to, promote what the program does. And it ties really well with what the Research Council promotes. And we always participate in the symposium, and we love being involved in research. And we're looking forward to the symposium this semester. And yes, our program has started in 2019, so we've been here about 5 years. This will be our last funding year. We hope we get it renewed for next year. We're very excited. We're working on that. And I wanted to talk about it because of the impact that it's having on our scholars and how it has a structure method for mentoring and for developing community with our students and with faculty. So I'm not sure how to get it
It
forward.
should. Well, here, let me give you this and you can hit. Let's try that. There we go.
And so the LSAMP stands for the Louis Stokes Alliance for Minority Participation, and it's a National Science Foundation funded program. And the main goal is to diversify the STEM workforce. So we want to support our undergrad students in achieving their goals of graduating with their STEM degree. So these are students in physics, chemistry, biology, computer science, engineering, and math, and provide them with experiences that will help them with their dreams of attending graduate school, either Master in Science programs or PhDs, doctorate programs. Um, so for us in the region, it was very important, and in general, because the minorities are underrepresented, especially in advanced degrees in science. So I put some numbers there from a survey from 2021 from the Sloan Foundation, where they were actually studying their experiences of undergrad students and students pursuing doctorates and about their experience and their background to try to understand how to increase those numbers so that they can be also representing their population just like in the overall US population. And these are overall numbers, so they're not specific by gender, but then there's another discussion also about women in science. We're very well represented here today, so thank you so much. But there is also that other factor that, how to promote more advanced degrees with all minorities. So I want to talk a little bit about my background because I am the one of the products of these programs at Arizona State University. And I think the main impact is the mentor and how they, organize the research group and how friendly they are and how you feel that they want to know you, right? That they're interested on you and not just like, give me the graph, give me the data. That's also important. But they're invested in you. And so I put some pictures here of first how I got into science because I knew I wanted to do science, but I didn't know do I want to do medical school, do I do mathematics? I was really attracted about mathematics. But looking at brochures of schools, I saw this one that had a picture similar to the one that I'm showing you of a girl looking in a microscope. And I was like, that could be me. I kind of like that idea. And later, years later, I realized that they based that picture on the famous scientist Rosalind Franklin looking at the samples of the DNA to try to crystallize it and achieve their structure, right? And do the X-rays. But I didn't know about that. I was just looking at the picture back then. So here I am. I had so many mentors from high school and in college. So here's one of my professors, Dr. Villa Garcia, but also Dr. Rivas was an incredible mentor. They wrote me these beautiful letters so I could get accepted into grad school. And they allowed me to train in their labs and supervise me for many hours in their lab as well. And then joining Arizona State, again, the group was very welcoming with Dr. Goss and Dr. Moore and her husband as well, another Dr. Moore. They form a research group, and they always invited us to have lunch at their home, or if we all go hang out in a restaurant, or they always told us, it's like, what are you guys doing this weekend? You need to get together. And they kind of gave us, push us of, you guys get together, socialize. Don't just come to do the research. Like, you go do something fun, go hiking. And they gave us ideas, go to the movie theater, and take other students with you. And so we formed very strong friendships then, all suffering, going through the same. So you also have that peer mentoring of students going a couple of years ahead of you, and they giving you hints about you do the poster this way, or you do the presentation this way, or showing you how to do reactions, right? So you also have not only the mentor, but also the peer mentor helping along the way, and the support system of, okay, it's Sunday, but we're going to go to the lab all together anyway and get our research done. And then even as a postdoc, you keep finding mentors everywhere you go. And these are two of my collaborators as a postdoc, Dr. Rand, Dr. Turnauer, and I still meet with them. These are pictures after, even after leaving Chicago. So my PhD, I did it in Arizona State University. So they have a big Hispanic population there, the Southwest. And so they were pushing for a lot of Hispanics to get their doctorates. And I completed that in 2002. And I arrived here at VSU in 2005. So now about our program, I'm so happy to now be the copy-eye of the LSAMP program. I am paying it forward basically for everything they done for me. And now I'm in the role of serving students. And the main grant went to Columbus State. That's where our PI of the program is. But we're an alliance, so we are the Southwestern Georgia Alliance, and we meet frequently with Columbus faculty and students, Georgia Southwestern, ABAC. We're actually going on Friday. Students are traveling to present their research there, to meet the other scholars, and Columbus Technical College as well. So throughout the 4 or 5 years, about every year we serve 40 to 50 students, and currently we have 10 scholars and 4 associate scholars. So we're students, we have funds for some students that we can support, but the program is open to everybody. If the students are interested in learning about the activities that we do, going to our meetings when we have guest speakers, everybody is welcome to join us on those activities, and get some insights. And the specific detail about our program here in our alliance is that we also have a social researcher. All the alliances do, but our psychologist is provided this framework of possible selves to encourage students to imagine themselves as already the scientist or had already the professional in the industry, and draw paths, draw maps to how am I going to get there, and really have a direction, and have several interventions on the social, where you have meetings with your faculty, you're involved in this already professional environment, um, with conferences, with the speakers, with networking events, with the academic support. They do have to keep a minimum GPA to be part of the program. So we want them to proceed on time with their graduation, and not because we're very busy on research, we're gonna not do so well in our classes. They are very dedicated students, so they can do everything. And then also explore some career aspects for after graduation or after getting their advanced degree, if they will, dedicate to just research or academia, or maybe go in the industry. And so we have speakers from different areas. We had speakers from the NASA, from Dow Chemicals, and entrepreneurs as well, to present what their path has been and give ideas to the students. So, well, that sounds interesting. Maybe I can do that. And this is a picture. We just took this one last week.
Oh.
This is our group, our current group from this spring. So I should mention, here is Dr. Aller. He's our other collaborator, and then online we have Dr. Erin Grabarsky, which is our most recent collaborator in our team here at BSU. So all the activities related to possible cells are also coming with benefits for the students. So the scholars get, a semester stipend. Of course, the mentoring, which is priceless, that they get from the coordinators and their own research mentors. And we always encourage them to, talk and find as many mentors as they can, to apply for summer research, and of course do research with our faculty here at BSU. We offer summer camps at different institutions. So last semester, students went to Columbus and met some of the biology professors and computer science, and they did some robotics, and they spent like about 4 days over there, again exploring different topics. We attend graduate school fairs, and also at the research conference, they usually have booths of different graduate schools, and so students have the opportunity to go and meet people from different schools and talk about their programs and see where they could be applying in the future. And I put there the QR code for our current application for new scholars pending funding, if we if we can make it happen for the fall. But we need students to apply, so that we can go ask for more money, because the need is there, the drive is there, and the program is working. So we want to continue it in the future. So this is the fun. Wanted to include some pictures of the most recent activities. In 2022, we had the chance to go to Chicago to a conference. And so we took one afternoon to kind of drive around the lake or walk around the lake. We didn't drive, we took the metro and we walked around. And last fall, we went to Durham, North Carolina, to a regional meeting. Took pictures from the summer camp in Columbus, and then the summit from last year that was in Columbus. Our summit this year for the Alliance will be in Tifton, so that's where we're going on Friday, to ABAG. And these summits involve the students doing poster presentations, just like the undergrad symposium, and they give awards to the best poster, and they have different categories where they give awards. And we also toured last year Florida State. We were allowed to go into the chemistry labs, and we talked to the faculty and the students, and we learned a little bit about their, very exciting research that they're doing over there with their graduate program. And then we also try to have at least once a year a workshop or a meeting with the mentors, where older scholars and their faculty come together and we share some snacks and we have some activities. So this spring we did a workshop on mentoring and on like your background and your identity and maybe challenges or maybe rewards that you have experienced as you go. And so faculty had a chance to share some of their background with the students and start a discussion about it. So we always learn a lot on those events. And these are some details on research. As I mentioned, the program is structured, so we don't just let the students go. They have to sign a contract with their faculty mentors, so we make sure that there's clear communication from the start. Because usually that's what causes more trouble, where the expectations are not very clear, laid out of how many hours are you going to work, or are we going to meet weekly, or what is expectation? Do I want you to finish one experiment, or do I want you to finish 10 experiments, right? So all of that is laid out at the start, so the student knows what they expect to do that semester or that year, and then as well as the faculty. In average, the students end up working about 3 hours a week in the lab, some a little bit more. But I didn't want to put like, oh, I work 10 hours a week. Really, it depends on their faculty and their project. Again, so it's a very individualized experience. Not everybody's having the same experience. It just depends on their research and their activity. And we do require that the student gives at least one presentation a year. So like the summit will be the required presentation for the year, but most of our students, they participate at the regional meeting, they participate at the Georgia undergraduate conference that we had in the fall, they will participate in the spring. So they end up doing about 3 presentations a year, where we can see that their data and their results, are kind of progressing from 6 months to the next 6 months. So I'm showing here in Ariana is right here. I'm showing her on the pictures. She was my mentee a couple of years ago. And so we worked in the lab doing some separations and chromatography. And then she presented on the grad symposium and did very well. She got a recognition there for outstanding poster. So here's another success story. This lady here is Jasmine Freeman, an outstanding researcher from the Department of Physics. And she was very driven to apply to summer research internships, and we encourage all of students to submit applications. And last year, she joined the SETI Institute, which is a big research lab, to analyze data with them about looking for exoplanets. So a lot of astrophysics research, and she did very well, and she got invited to present her research results in Knoxville, Tennessee. So just going to a research session in the summer, that opened her network, met other scientists, became a member of the National Black Physicists Society, got invited to go to give a talk on the results, and so have a very rewarding summer, and she continued working with that through this year as well. And I'm getting close to the ending of the slides, so then we can talk a little bit more, or yeah, you guys can ask me some questions. But I wanted to show you some data of the results that we included in our annual report for the program. We have an outside evaluator that interviews faculty, interviews students, and surveys, and then they put all that information together for the Alliance. So this is not specific for VSU, but it's all the students in the Alliance, and about 22 of them answered this specific question about what were the biggest impacts of the program for them. And the majority of them say attending a conference. So really having that opportunity of traveling and spending 3 days or so at a conference, and and listening to a variety of, presenters, and then they themselves doing their poster presentations. So that's what they see. It's like the big impact on it. It gives them a lot of experience from, taking an airplane and asking taxis and all that, maybe that they're not doing in everyday life, So, and then the professional networking that they had, they were eager to go and talk to the speakers and, meet the other students as well at the conference. And then the second big impact is that community. And that's part of what I mentioned at the start, that really you need to feel welcome and you need to feel that you are with your peers, right? Find your people wherever you are, and, get to be the best of yourself with them. So having that support system with faculty and their peers, that will be the second big impact. And then they listed, research, mentoring, the stipends, and seeing themselves represented in the field as well. And then another question was about the preparation about their future. Do they feel that the program is making an impact on how well they feel prepared for what's after they get their bachelor degree? And here about half of them, 45%, said that they really feel well prepared and, with enough experience under the belt to go and apply to grad school and go and pursue a PhD. The year or two of research that they've done and presentations that they've done. And about a quarter said that they do feel a little bit more prepared or knowledgeable, and only about 13% say they had not yet enough opportunities. So this survey is answered by students that maybe had just 6 months in the program, or students that have 2 years in the program. So yeah, there is a variety of answers in here. And I didn't include, but I think about 30% of them were seniors, and then another 30% were juniors. And there is some sophomores and in this survey as well. And this is another result that I really like from the survey, and is where the student reflects on their self-efficacy. So they feel that they can achieve things, and basically that's all you need. You need to know that you can do it, and you will do it, right? If you believe in yourself, then everything else will take care of. So these are some of the results on how well they agree with these phrases. So if I don't give up, I can achieve difficult tasks. I can complete my projects. So it was 50 plus 30, so about 80 something percent agrees with the statement. Here I feel very pleased with myself when I can work by trying hard. Again, a lot of people agree. Learning is important, and this also it's something that we emphasize with the students, right? You like science because you're curious, because you want to learn. You're doing this because it's something that you want to do and you find fun. We know it's challenging, we know it's stressful, but if we like the area that we're working on, then we're gonna do it. We're gonna work on it anyway. So yeah, there's some other comments about their self-efficacy. If something doesn't make sense, I can spend time trying to understand it. So again, they don't give up, right? They have that impression that they can grow, that they can learn more, and doesn't matter what level they are, if they try, they will learn it, they will complete it, they will achieve it. So for the future, even with the program or without the program, what we would like has the alliance is that our institutions collaborate, or that each institution really finds ways to bring students together with faculty, to motivate them to do research, to have these mentoring opportunities, or these career development opportunities. And so we're fortunate here at the College of Science and Mathematics that we have the Guides program. It's been there also for a few years, and this is targeting peer mentoring, right? So the students organize the meetings, students can go and seek mentoring from their peers about their different programs. And also, we're very fortunate that we have a lot of student organizations where our students can get leadership development, right? So for us, that's also very important to seek to serve. Just by developing your leadership skills, you become a better researcher because you're going to be managing people in the future, and so you need that training as well. Dealing with organizing events, fundraising, all of that is also good training for you as a scholar and as a researcher. And then the professional interaction, right, with faculty and students. So in the chemistry department, I can give an example, and I think other departments do as well. Every year, for the last 3 years, we've been hosting a mentoring luncheon. And so we invite our students to come, and sometimes we have a speaker, an outside speaker to come and talk to them. But it's small tables, discussions, and we want students to meet each other, to talk to each other, and to also talk to faculty and talk about career plans and talk about any challenges that they're confronting, or if they have any questions, they have that opportunity to interact. And in general, we recommend our students to develop a network. So as I mentioned, find your people, find your mentors. So this could be your peers, but also expand. Don't stay here. We have access to professional organizations. The Department of Physics has a physics organization, and then the chemistry, we have the chemistry organization. The math department also has the math organization. Mm-hmm. So students can already be part of professional organizations. They don't have to wait until they graduate to join and take advantage of all the opportunities that they have. So build a network and even seek connections in the industry or the government. Maybe see where a possible job may be in the future. And keep participating, right? That will be our main recommendation for VSU, the undergrad symposium every April. It's like, it's a party for us. It's like, yes, finally, the symposium is here. We wish we had the whole week off to just go and listen all the presentations and then celebrate well at the poster session, which always seems very short for me. I'm gonna say that in. We want to talk to everybody, and so we need a longer time at the poster session. But it's great, and I really appreciate that it's organized and happening, and we hope it keeps happening. And finally, a plug-in. Our next meeting is March 26th. It's going to be a Tuesday night. We have 2 alumni speakers that are going to tell us about their graduate school experience. Khalil graduated with a bachelor in chemistry and is pursuing a PhD in toxicology. So he's at the College of Medicine at the University of Kentucky. And the advantage of pursuing a PhD, and he's doing actually a PhD MD program, is that he gets a stipend, right? Students pursuing a PhD in science, a lot of students don't know that. You don't need money. You just need to be accepted in the school, and faculty or the university has money. They will cover your tuition and give you an extra stipend so that you can pursue your advanced degree. So he's going to tell us about how he's doing and his experiences there. And then also our second speaker is Alexia Dunn, and she graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Geosciences. And I think she's pursuing a master's degree. She may be pursuing a PhD. I didn't want to put too much, but at least a master. I know that for sure. At the University of Illinois in organic campaign, and she just started this year, so she's a year behind Khalil. So we'll get to hear from the different stages how they're doing. And I put the contact information there for our Insta or Facebook or website. Everybody's welcome to follow us and see when we have activities that they will join. Please join us. So I think that's it.
Oh, that's fantastic. As you know, I really love this program. And I really, the way that you guys go about it is something that I think is a model for a lot of groups. Now, granted, those of us in humanities don't necessarily have labs, but the idea of the community and getting the students together, I think is great. I think the advantage of science is you have the labs, so you can get them there and sort of keep them going. Um, but
And,
it's,
and it's a faculty side by side most of the time that
Yeah.
has to train the student on an instrument or on a technique. And so we end up spending a lot of time with our students. You know, once they know what they're doing, then maybe we can let them go and they can be in the lab on their own. But yes, there is a lot of interaction between faculty and students. And then we try to foster the interaction also with the students to students, right? That they become friends, that they support each other, and hopefully even give ideas about their research. And
So what are the possibilities that the grant will be renewed?
sincerely, I have no idea. I have no idea.
Is there a possibility if it's not reviewed or renewed that we here at VSU will be able to fund this or?
I'm not sure. We certainly would love to keep the interaction, and you know, faculty is always willing to take students to do research. We just want more students to, you know, seek out those opportunities. Um, but yes, the PI told me like, yes, start recruiting students because, you know, we're gonna go for it. Because I was asking, you know, should we recruit students? And they told me yes. And so that's why the application is open. Make sure everybody to sign up before the end of the month, to so that we have a good set of students that we can pull.
Well, yeah, and it seems like the institutional differences, bringing everybody together, the different institutions has got to be fantastic.
And we did have some challenges at the start. The geographical differences, right? A lot of it is like done by email, done by phone. Now we have the Teams meetings, so now we can do the online meetings. But then COVID hit like right after the second year on the program. And so we had to switch gears about, well, now we're going to have online meetings instead of like the summit. So we didn't travel as much during a couple of years because of that. But all of the alliances are in the same boat. We had a meeting last summer with other PIs and the NSF directors, and they all experience the same. And so we still kept working, right? We still involved students. It's not like we just didn't do anything. Students still presented posters. Students kept doing research. So
that was the amazing thing to me is I know that some experiments didn't get done and things like that. But even during COVID, we still had in the undergraduate research, even though our symposium was online, we had the sciences represented. They were all working, even if they were having to create new ways of working when they couldn't be in the lab together.
Yeah, so a few of the experiments got delayed, or it was less time to do them. But yeah, faculty kept working and running simulations and surveys and thinking about different ways of addressing the problem that they were working on, to keep the student engaged, to be able to get some results and give them the opportunity to go and present.
Which I imagine has to also be very good when they go out to apply for the next stage, and that they've had to actively recreate their entire research system in some cases. And I know they had to do that at the professional level, but the fact that these students have already done that, I would think would make them, much more likely to get in someplace because they're flexible enough that they can figure out how to make it work.
Yeah, I know Khalid and Alexia were at that time with us, and so they experienced that. So.
Yeah, I know it was a struggle, but this is a wonderful program. And honestly, I didn't know about it at first when it came on board, and then we started seeing it, and we started bringing them into the And it has been so much fun to watch what they've done. It's just outstanding research.
Yeah, the NSF sponsors like different types of programs, but these ones of the alliances, they're already kind of like designed. You know, you're gonna have a small group of students, and you're gonna focus on their social, academic, career planning, and really give them, you know, the skills and the confidence on themselves that they can do it. If they want to go to get their master's degree or their PhD degree, that the opportunities are there and that they can apply and be successful.
Yeah, I think that confidence thing is probably the most important when it comes to women and other underserved groups in all areas, but the sciences as well. Just to let them know they can compete, and more importantly, give them a mentor, because in a lot of places, they're not going to get the mentors. You know, it's so competitive. Like if you go to UGA and stuff, you're not going to necessarily get a mentor. And a lot of the mentors up there go to white males. And so we see this continuing problem. So I think this is fantastic. I'm going to pick on you guys and ask you, what's your favorite part of the program?
Traveling.
Traveling?
I just get to know your professors and stuff because, you know, at first it can be a little intimidating, you know, going to their office. Now when I see, I just be like, hey, Dr. So-and-so, how's your day? How you doing?
Yeah. What's your least favorite?
Least favorite? The meetings be at 8 o'clock at night, Dr. Garza, and I'm not gonna lie, that's a little late.
You rather have it at 8 a.m.?
Oh, well, I mean, give me a reason, you know, get my day started.
Yes,
That
this semester in particular, the students are taking late labs or they're working. And we try to find a time where, you know, we all can get together. And we arrive at 8 p.m. on Mondays, but they're making it. But it was just that one. The next meetings are going to be at 7. So.
Well, it is. I mean, I can't imagine trying to get all those schedules together. Because you want everybody to be there, but when? And it's going to be at some time like 8 p.m. on Monday, or worse, 8 p.m. on Friday. You know? That's definitely worse.
Yeah, no Fridays. No Fridays afternoons, please. Yeah, and we do want to have, you know, a nice, we kind of do fast meetings, right? Because there's a lot of information going on. But when we have guest speakers, when we have an event, we want to have that extra social time as well. And so that's why next time we're going to meet at 7. So we have the social time, and then the speakers will start at 7:30 right here. So yeah, because the other option will be to meet like at noon, like right now, right? And just talk for 45 minutes and go. And then you don't have that chance to really relax, right? And grab a coffee or grab a soda and plan and think about what's next. Because a lot of the meetings is about what's planning. It's planning.
Yeah, always planning. So what's the most surprising things that you run into so far? Things that came out of the blue and you had no idea.
I would say like all the stuff you can do with a chemistry degree. I'm a chemistry major, so I was like, you know, usually people be like, I'm majoring in chemistry, and I'm like, oh, pharmacy is like the only thing you can really like get into with that, but it's so much more stuff.
So what else can you do?
You can be like I thought I'd be like a cosmetic chemist, so like you can like make makeup and hair products. You can be forensic chemist, you know, look at the DNA and blood samples and all that stuff, and then even like at the luncheon, like people came and they were just like at a job where they were, what was he doing? I don't know, looking at batteries. That's what it was, batteries, and he was some type of chemist in that. I was like, wow, I never knew you could do that with that. That's so cool.
Yeah, I think a lot of times that's our students' biggest problem when they come here, and it's certainly in the humanities, because they think, well, you can't do what do you do with the humanities? Like, oh, so many things. But you have to get them to tell them. And so I think students think, okay, I can go into like psychology, I can be a counselor, I could be, you know, and there's so many more things in all these fields that you could go into.
For me, it was having like imposter syndrome before I presented for the first time. I was like crying. I was really in shock. Like I don't know. I was in class and I was just like, I don't understand anything I'm learning in class, and I don't understand math. And then I talked to my professors about it, and they helped me like understand it a little bit better. And eventually, I got more confident in myself.
Yeah.
And she won.
Yeah.
Imposter
That was the
syndrome.
second time.
Imposter syndrome is a huge thing, especially for women in a lot of male-dominant fields. And so I'm glad that you're getting the support you need to overcome that, because that's always there. It's always there. But I know that you present very well. I've seen you. And
Thank
that's something that you need to take with you, that you overcame. What would you tell people if they were thinking about applying to your group?
I'll tell you, join.
Yeah. Just great opportunities, getting to know your professors, networking, talking to people, learning the graduate program, what you want to do after this. Because when I started, I just chose chemistry because, I like science and math. I had no idea what I wanted to do. Because I was like, I don't like English, so we're going to, do chemistry or something. I think let's do it.
And you're also chemistry?
Mhm.
Wonderful. What are your plans after this?
I want to go to grad school and then the industry.
In which?
chemical industry.
Oh,
I think I want to go far away for grad school though. Hopefully, different weather.
yeah. It's always good to go somewhere else.
Yeah. That's why I chose Austin too, so I could still get hope would be like as far as possible away from home.
Yeah.
So we chose Austin.
I get that.
Like 3 hours away from home. So I think that's a pretty good balance.
It really is. Close enough to go home,
Mm-hmm.
but far enough away that you're not going to get visitors.
Yes, definitely.
We still get visitors.
It's an excellent experience for undergrads. Like even with my child just went to college too, and it's like, yeah, you need to go because you're gonna learn things by being on your own, being independent, and being more confident.
Yeah.
Right. So and learning to take your own decisions. So.
Yeah. That whole adulting thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still learning that.
Me too.
It gets easy.
Me too, and I'm both heading towards retirement, so it's ongoing. Well, I think this is, like I said, I have always loved this program, and have really taken some of the ideas and put them in my own classes as much as I could, because it's just fantastic the way it works. I did want to say on the one slide, and I don't remember what it was, but I wondered when you said that you had to overcome that imposter syndrome. There's one slide in there that talks about the number that didn't feel like they were real prepared, and I wonder how much of that is still they're just so overwhelmed with what there is to learn that they don't feel prepared. It's not that they don't feel prepared, but the realization that holy cow, there's so much more, and so maybe that's the reason that number exists, not so much that they're not prepared, but because I have a couple students who I don't care how much they do, they never feel like they do enough. Like they will never be prepared. It's like you can't do your PhD and your undergraduate research stuff.
For me, it was like with STEM, I've always felt in class, I would try to like drag myself through it and I would eventually get through some of it. And then when I was in lab, I always excelled. Like I always understood most of the things I did in lab and I always had fun. And then when I was doing my research, I would still have fun doing my research, but I was learning new things and new techniques, but I didn't understand my results. And so I was like, I don't understand organic chemistry. And then I don't understand my research a little bit, like the results of it. So that's why I was like, I guess I got like a bit choked up and it was just a little bit difficult for me, but I think it was good that I asked for help, because I would have just been like spiraling or whatever, but I asked for help, like I kept asking and eventually I understood it. So, yeah.
That's the beauty of having mentors. That's, I think, the most important part. And to let you know that we went through the same thing.
And most of it, the students, like, they have the maturity to recognize that I'm having issues. Because
Yeah.
sometimes we have students that they don't know that they're having issues and they just start saying things that don't make sense. But if you're knowledgeable enough to know that, okay, these it's not clear, and you have that drive to ask questions. And as scientists, that's the best thing that you can do. Right? We always admit we don't know. Like, I mean, it's the current understanding that we have of matter or life or whatever. We're always asking questions, and so it's essential that they practice that. And I'm so glad
You know,
that they get to do that.
my non-science students have a real hard time with that. They pretty much assume you guys know the facts.
Oh, no.
Have you ever gone over there and talked to them? Because they're gonna say, this is what I've got now.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's why we keep, so excited every day, every year, every new discovery,
Yeah.
and just talking to our colleagues about the new stuff that is happening. So
Yeah.
super fun.
I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful. So anything to add before we kind of wrap it up and let you go to lunch? You'll probably skip lunch for this.
She went over everything.
Okay.
I think she did a great job.
She always does.
Yes, we love her. Love you.
Yay.
I love you guys.
That's the thing. I think students don't realize how much we enjoy mentoring and seeing where they go. Like I still have students. This is my 41st year as a university professor. I know, like I'm so old. And then I hear about other students in the past that are now professors that are doing something, and it's so great when they get back in touch and you find out where they went. It's so much fun. That's why we'd rather teach at this institution than UGA. In UGA, all I'd be doing was publishing, and I wouldn't get to know students. And
It's a very big institution.
it is, and you're just a number. Here we get to know you, and even if you're not in the same field, like I know you from undergraduate research. So that's huge. That's how Darcy came. So, I mean, she's so involved in undergraduate research, and I wouldn't have known her had it not been her. And she saved us in Georgia undergraduate research because she took over some panels when all of our people had to go for open house. So the fact that we can have these interdiscipline sort of collegial events, I think is fantastic. So I'm glad you're both being, you've applied, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you sent in your abstracts. Cool.
Yes, they thought it. Yeah, right.
Wonderful. Well, I thank you very much, and I thank you for all your work in this program. Sometimes we forget to tell each other, our colleagues, how much we appreciate what they do, because I know it's above and beyond your teaching schedule and your research schedule and all that. This is a fantastic program, and I think if we can figure out a way to keep it going, it's the best thing in the world.
Thank you. We're very proud, and Dr. Mock started the program back in 2018, and then she handed it to me in very well shape, and had the opportunity to see a little bit of the back. But yes, there's a lot of things that I didn't see that I had to learn once she left. But yeah, it's very exciting, and as you mentioned, incredibly rewarding to be working for these outstanding students.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all for being here, and thank you. So, congratulations, your program. Years more. Years more. If you want to hit we're finished recording. Thank you.